So what is self-discipline? The common misconception, thinks that it's about self-punishment. But I see that self-discipline is not self-punishment, it is self-respect. It is you respecting your commitments to yourself. It is you living a life that is in harmony with your highest goals and values. It's living a life of integrity, of authenticity. It is your ability to focus your time, your mind, your energy on the things that are most important for you. So in this framework, we start by figuring out what are your core values, what are the things that are most important for you, the things that really matter. And then we begin to shape your life so that the things that are most important get their space, get enough time and attention and energy so that you can grow to be the being you aspire to be. And it's interesting that the word discipline and the word disciple, they both have the same root. And for me, this means that for you to be a disciple, you need to have discipline. In other words, discipline is what allows you to learn. It's what prepares you the ground so that you can truly receive the teaching, apply it, and transform your life with it. Discipline, for the Greeks, it comes from the word enkrateia, which means power. And in Hindu Tantra, which is the tradition that I am connected with the most, there's the word Shakti, which also means power or energy. Now, needless to say, this is nothing to do about power over other people. It's not that. It's about power over oneself. It is self-discipline. So, self-discipline is aligned with spiritual principles in almost all traditions in the planet. And if you look at Buddhism, there is one word that they use, which is virya. And virya means intense effort, right? So self-discipline is very connected with the idea of virya. It means energetic, diligent, effortful, right? So for us to transform the nature of our mind, for us to transform our lives, we're going to have to apply effort consistently over a period of time. And this virtue of virya made it to many of the virtue lists of the Buddha. It's part of the list of 6 perfections of the Bodhisattva, the 5 strengths, the 4 bases of spiritual power, and that's the name in Pali for those of you who can read that. And it's also one of the 7 factors of enlightenment. So self-discipline is connected to virya because virya is effort and self-discipline is maintaining rightful effort over a certain period of time until you get the result, the transformation that you're after. If you're curious about the sound, I think this is a bird somewhere around here. Now, what is mindful self-discipline? So that is my approach to this topic, because if you go and read most of the books on self-discipline out there, you will feel that the way that they approach this topic is more military, more martial in nature. And that works for some people, sometimes. It definitely works for me sometimes. But at the same time, I feel that there was a need for an approach to self-discipline that is more awareness-based. And that was the birth of mindful self-discipline. Right? It's more gentle. It's more approachable for most people. So I've been running these classes for a while now, and many people who were not at all interested in the topic of self-discipline and willpower, and yet they needed it. They tell me that with this mindful approach, with this awareness-based approach, they're able to connect with it and see how that's beneficial for them. So we can say that self-discipline is a combination of 2 elements. It is awareness and is willpower. It is to see, to know, and to do, to put in the effort. Now, mindful self-discipline is awareness first. Because if you just try to, let's say you're trying to build a positive habit and you keep skipping, or you're trying to break a negative habit, you're trying to say no to a temptation that you know doesn't serve you anymore. And you find yourself indulging in it all the time. The willpower approach is a little bit like pushing a boulder uphill. It's possible, and you're going to get strong over time, and maybe you can do it. But if you first work with awareness and then you bring in willpower, then that's more like rolling the boulder downhill. So the 3 pillars of this framework of mindful self-discipline, they are aspiration, awareness, and action. Aspiration is like having a north. It is a compass for your life, the compass of your deepest values, of your goals, of the vision that you have for yourself. Awareness is you keeping those values in mind. Awareness is mindfulness. It's keeping them in mind, remembering them, so that when you're making decisions in your day-to-day life, those values are influencing your decisions, that you are acting in harmony with those values. And then action, well, this is where the rubber meets the road. It's you having an action plan, you knowing what you need to focus on so that you can achieve your goals. It's you having an action plan, and it's also you knowing how to build positive habits and how to break negative habits, so to speak. So I define self-discipline as your ability to live in accordance with your highest goals and values, moment after moment. And that is aspiration. It is a purpose-driven life. It is also the power that you have to overcome internal and external obstacles, to commit to what is meaningful to you. And that's the awareness piece. And then to let that guide the way you think, the choices you make, and the actions you take until you bring your goal to fruition.
We provide you with the certification and the credentials you need to teach mindfulness in professional settings. I invite you to check out our webpage at teach.mindfulnessexercises.com to learn more about the program, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside.